My name is Lieutenant Colonel Lee Roger Wolfgram, and I am a storyteller. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Colonel channel. Today I'm going to be doing the JAG brief. I am very pleased to announce that we got a great result on the Mall of America shooting case. The video kind of says it all. Paul Bloom from Fox 9, Channel 9 here in Minneapolis did a great job of getting the entire case out there with Paul Bloom. Wanted to see this video. So here's what we ended up with. Let's watch.
New video showing the chaos inside the Mall of America Nike store last summer.
The violent confrontation that included gunfire was caught on camera. Today, one of the men involved was sentenced. Fox 9's Paul Bloom joins us now. Paul, his attorney claims it was all in self-defense.
Randy Kelso, that shooting, of course, unfolding last August, sending shockwaves through a crowded mall. You may remember authorities putting out an APB in the immediate aftermath for those two main suspects who were eventually arrested down in Chicago. And today, a judge sentencing Rashad May here. No prison, no jail, but rather 2.5 months in the workhouse.
The gunfire at the MOA Nike store was caught on cell phone and shared on social media, but until now, we hadn't seen how the confrontation escalated.
But that's what happened. So there's no opportunity to call 911. There's no officers standing there. These guys are in fear of their life.
In court on Tuesday, Rashad May's defense attorney, Lee Wolfgram, took us inside the mall at the time of the shooting last August, playing surveillance video at sentencing from a fisheye camera that captured the entirety of the violent altercation. May, here in the orange T-shirt, his buddy and eventual shooter, Shamar Lark, in white tank, blue cap. Wolfgram isolated this group of apparent instigators further back in queue. They seemed to be scheming when all of a sudden the guy in white tee and Kansas City Royals baseball hat cold cocks May from behind. The fight quickly escalates as the crowd disperses. Lark would eventually return to the entranceway and fire off a few rounds. Authorities maintain it was at the urging of May.
Without provocation, brutally attacked Mr. May. He was in fight or flight mode.
May subsequently pleaded guilty to aiding an offender to avoid arrest for helping coordinate the getaway. Hennepin County District Court Judge William Cook handed down a sentence that amounts to about 2.5 months in the workhouse, with release privileges for May to attend to his job and schooling.
You're making a purchase, perfectly normal day. It should have gotten off without a hitch. There shouldn't have been any threat to you or anybody else. It is clear from the video that there was a group that was intending on doing you harm. You are not the initial aggressor in that in any way. You were sucker punched from behind.
Fortunately, no one was injured in that gunfire. It's not entirely clear from court proceedings what exactly happened to those young men who appeared to throw that first punch. Meantime, the admitted triggerman, Shamar Lark, is scheduled for sentencing himself coming up in July. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.
This is a case where there was evidence that wasn't revealed to the public, but that we in the defense used at sentencing for a departure. Departure is where the law says someone should receive a certain, usually it's a felony, a certain level of designated offense, and that's what the book says. So that's what the judges are bound to, unless the defense can prove that this particular incident is less onerous than other ones. Ability for the defense to use this evidence at sentencing was crucial. Yet this had not been disclosed, and this is really one of my gripes. There's a lot of evidence out there, and when people don't go thoroughly through the evidence, they might miss things. And I would say in this case, the prosecutor missed the point here. This is a dangerous situation, and although my client did have a role in getting away from the Mall of America, the facts under which this occurred were important to the judge. The judge agreed with me, and as a result, my client did not get a felony conviction, and my client is able to go to work, he's able to go to school, and this is a method of preventing a felony when you've got good sentencing facts. So my client actually did make arrangements for them to get away from the Mall of America. Primarily the pursuers. If you watch that video again, and I won't replay it here, but if you watch that video again, you will see that my client and his friend had to escape, and they were being pursued even after they left, after they were in a fight for their life, because they didn't know what was going to happen next either. They were just jumped. They're in fight or flight mode. And when I mean fight or flight, they fled over counters, everything else to get away from there. But if you watch that video again, you will see that they were being pursued immediately after that. So what makes this less onerous than an average crime? So my client ended up pleading to aiding an offender, right, to escape. And the truth of the matter is there were no police there between the time this occurred and the time that they needed to get away for their own safety. And it's clear when you play the video that was not played by the police. This is another thing that I really had some real issues with, and that is there were all the shooting videos out there and scaring people. But the scary part of this is that you could just be standing in line and someone comes up behind you and just assaults you. And unfortunately, in this case, we still don't know who those other people are, but what we do know is Mr. May, my client, was there to buy shoes, was standing in line, minding his own business at the Mall of America, and was assaulted from behind. What happened after that, of course, is a matter of his state of mind. His state of mind was, I'm being attacked, I need to get out of here, I need to fight, and all of those things, when you look at that in context of what actually occurred, it really illustrates that had no one assaulted my client, there wouldn't have been any assault, there wouldn't have been any escape, there wouldn't have been anything at all. So in this case, where the defense was able to show the judge that this is less onerous, this is less serious than other typical offenses of this nature, and that's the reason why. Now, this didn't amount to a full self-defense at trial because the self-defense has nuances. You can't always be certain you're going to get a self-defense instruction from the judge. But when we knew we were going to be able to play this and expose this for the first time, we knew that we were going to have the judge's attention, because it's clear from this that self-defense was definitely an element here. And with that said, I just want to kind of explain. So this is called a departure, okay? And a departure is where the judge actually would normally sentence a felony sentence over 365 days. And in this case, the judge did not sentence as a felony, regardless of what the prosecutor charged it as. The judge found this less onerous, and my client was not given a felony sentence. And that, therefore, makes the crime not a felony. So I wanted to let people know that, and I'm proud of the result. I think we did great work here, and I wanted other people to see. This is the kind of stuff why you need to make sure that you go through all of the evidence every time. There were 4 gigabytes of evidence in this case because the Mall of America is lined with cameras. And this camera really caught what happened. So I think it's interesting to see. I think it's interesting to see what was not presented to the public. And I want people to keep in mind that there's always something more to these stories. And if the defense isn't going through each and every item of evidence, these things can be missed. And they can be missed by the state as well. So now you have the opportunity to see what actually happened here. You can see why the judge deviated from the normal felony sentence. And you got a lesson here on how this works when you're asking for a departure. Until the next time, Wolf 6 out.